Can everyone hear me? Mel, can you turn it a little louder?
He's joking.
Oh no? Okay, I'm just gonna talk loud. I'm a very loud talker. So thank you so much for joining us tonight to honor the amazing D'Amico family and Anne-Marie D'Amico. My name is Lindsay. I'm the Director of Development at North York Women's Shelter, and I'm gonna be your MC for the next 30 minutes. So I just have a couple housekeeping pieces. So I just want to ensure that everyone's been COVID screened at this desk over here. And if you would like to do a tour after the speeches, we just need to see proof of vaccination. So you can just check in. Mel's right there, she can wave. She can check in and do that. As well, security and safety for our residents is at the core of everything we do. So we're just asking that if you were filming this right now, if you could just ensure it's pointed at the speakers and not at our shelter space. And that would be great. And so first, before we begin, I'd like to invite Brigitte Barakaj, our Senior Manager, Shelter Programs and Services, to provide a land acknowledgement.
Let us acknowledge what it means for us to be on this land. We are gathered here today at the meeting place of Indigenous communities, including but not limited to the Wandake, Nyon-Wentio, Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, Anishinaabe-Waki, and Haudenosaunee. These nations have existed long before we arrived and continue to live on and fight for their land, their people, and their culture. As settlers, we must learn what it means to be on this land. Indigenous communities have long asserted that they could not have sold us their land since they did not own it. This land is not owned by anyone, but it's a living and breathing thing that exists in a mutually dependent relationship with humans. As we are gathered here for the opening of the Anne-Marie D'Amico Community Collective, we are grateful for this land and this opportunity to create a safer space for Indigenous and non-Indigenous individuals. In creating this space, we've been able to use our resources to showcase Indigenous artists, plants, culturally significant, medicinal, and ceremonial plants in our backyard. We are committed to forming partnership with Indigenous organizations as we grow and welcoming them into the Anne-Marie D'Amico Community Collective to create lasting relationships. As settlers have been responsible for genocide in the Indigenous community through introduction of colonialism, patriarchy, and racism. Part of this genocide has been the residential schools, the 60s school, and the missing and murdered Indigenous girls and two-spirited people. An inquiry report which was released in 2019. As bearers of this responsibility to support Indigenous communities in their journey of healing and finding connection with this land, as well as creating a safer space for Indigenous women, children, two-spirited individuals, we acknowledge the need for reflection at any important moment of celebration and decision-making. We also acknowledge the need for reflection on our actions. And we'll be taking time away as an organization on Thursday, the Orange Shirt Day, or First National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, to evaluate our position and power in this land and dedicate ourselves to ways we can learn about Indigenous struggles, as well as ways to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you, Brigitte. I would now like to ask Mayor John Tory to come up, who has graciously come to our small event this evening.
Well, Lindsay, far be it from me to correct you, but this is a big event, not a small event. It's a very big event. And I say that because because Anne-Marie herself, and I didn't know her, I think I met her, I'm pretty sure I did in my own travels, because she was so involved in the community herself, but her family, in her honor, have been such a model of giving back and of honoring her legacy in a way that is going to contribute to the broader community. And that's really one of the reasons I very much wanted to be here tonight. And I'm here with the family and honored to be with them always. Nick and Rocky and Carmela, Francis and Rocco, and I just want to say to them that while I know that occasions like this, and even the hard work that's led to today and the hard work that goes on with the Turtle Project and the foundation itself are, I'm sure, bittersweet in their own way for you, that I'm sure also it has been heartwarming for you to be able to continue the work your family wants to do, but continue the work that Anne-Marie did. I mean, she was an engaged, committed, passionate citizen. I was doing some of the reading of how people spoke of her at the time of that terrible tragedy, which really represented one of the worst days in the history of the city, and certainly, of course, for your family and the families of others whose lives were taken and others whose lives were altered. But you decided to come back from that by continuing to build, and continuing to build the way that she did, continuing to care for others the way that she did. She was as engaged a citizen as you'd ever find, and to me, I mean, those are the people that really do make a difference. And as was said at the time, she did that with the whole of her heart. And now I see the hearts, plural, that you are putting into this on behalf of, in this case, women who need support in this community. And I just say that she would be honored. I'm sure she's proud looking down right now at what you're doing in her honor, because that's why you're doing it, but you're doing it as well because you understand that's what makes for a better place. You know, we've just come through, or we're still coming through this pandemic, and the hallmark of our success as a city and coming through it relatively well compared to other places is that we support each other. We support each other. We make sure that when people are in trouble, whether it's seniors who are lacking for food, or whether it's people who are finding themselves afraid to get vaccinated, that we provided them with support. And this place, now bearing her name, and the collective where people will come from all over the community to receive support, I think is very fitting given her own legacy and given your hard work to do good things for other people. And, you know, the other part of this place, of course, is a place that people can find shelter. And it's sad that we need to have places like that, but the North York Women's Shelter has and will continue to do an excellent job of making sure that shelter is available to people who need that help, families and women who need that help. So I just want to say, the only thing I can say today is thank you. Thank you for taking, you know, what must be unspeakable grief that you still face, because with these things, you know, they leave scars, and scars are evidence that things don't completely heal. And I know that. I know it's hard, but I hope that the support you felt from the city, meaning the people of the city government, all the different organizations that you're helping to support, the people who support the foundation and its fundraising, I hope that those bring a degree of comfort to you. Because you're certainly bringing a degree of comfort to a lot of other people, and doing your daughter, who did us so proud as a Torontonian, you are doing her so proud in the work that you're doing. And I look forward to continuing to support what you're doing year after year, because I know this is the beginning, not the end. And I look forward to many more great things coming from a family that I admire so much. You know, I get a chance to see a lot of good works done in our city by a lot of good people, but there is no family that has set more of an example than the D'Amico family in very difficult circumstances as to what it's about to be an engaged, caring, supportive citizen and do an honor to your daughter that I think is something that is beyond anything she could ever have hoped for. So thank you very much, and thank you to the people involved with the shelter itself and the collective, because you're going to do good work here thanks to the support of the D'Amico family, and thanks to the support of all the other people who got us to here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'd now like to invite Vanessa Costa, our acting ED at NYWS, to introduce the special guest this evening, as well as to talk about a little bit about the space that you're here to visit today.
Thanks, Lindsay. Good evening, everyone. You are standing in front of our secure, fully accessible, 24,000 square foot anti-violence center that consists of 2 distinct but linked buildings. You will see to your right our fully secure emergency shelter, and we are in front of our community collective. Our shelter consists of 17 bedrooms, each with a private bathroom and the capacity to house up to 40 women, trans, and non-binary folks and their children. Plus, a first in the Toronto area, a kennel for their pets. While designing our new shelter, we knew there were a limited number of beds, but a huge need for services, which has only been highlighted by COVID-19 because of the shadow pandemic. The vision for our community collective is to offer violence prevention programming, trauma-specific care, and services to both our residents and many people within our community. We designed and built the space to be able to serve as many people as possible. You'll hear more about what this space has been used for over the last year and a half and into the future from our board chair, Michelle, in a few minutes. Well, now I have the pleasure of introducing our main guest this evening and the reason we are here to celebrate, the D'Amico family. 3 years ago, while in the midst of our capital build, we were introduced to this amazing family. They brought with them a commitment to honor their beautiful daughter and sister, Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie lost her life with 9 others on April 23, 2018 in the Toronto van attack. 16 people were also injured and countless others were affected by this hate crime with misogyny at its core. In grief and remembrance, people take many directions to honor loved ones. We are honored that the D'Amico family chose to remember Anne-Marie by starting the Anne-Marie D'Amico Foundation to directly support the build of our community collective and ongoing programming within the space by committing to raise $1 million for North York Women's Shelter. We also want to acknowledge our previous executive director, Mohini Dadare, who's here today. She was an integral part in creating this anti-violence space, as well as building this relationship with the D'Amico family. So today, and moving forward, this space will be called the Anne-Marie D'Amico Community Collective. Our team never had the privilege of meeting Anne-Marie, but we get to see a glimpse of the passion and love she had for her community through you, Rocco, Carmela, Nick, Francis, and your wonderful extended family. Lindsay recently told me that Francis shared with them that she always wanted your whole family to volunteer together, and now you're doing it. And we know that Anne-Marie is with you through it all. The work that you are doing in memory of your amazing daughter and sister is supporting hundreds of women, so they are no longer caught in the cycle of violence. Since opening, we have supported 113 individuals. So, yes. So, D'Amicos, on behalf of all of us at North York Women's Shelter, our team, residents, and community, thank you. I would like to invite Nick up now to speak. Thank you.
Whew. Wow. I want to start off by saying thank you to Vanessa and the North York Women's Shelter. We're just huge fans of everything that you do and everything related to North York Women's Shelter. We've been privy to some of the work that you've done here, and it's just an incredible honor to have my sister's name on the community collective. So thank you. I was talking earlier with one of our board members inside, Samara, about doing these events and how it could potentially re-traumatize you from what happened and the day of, and I told her, I go, these type of events don't really do that for me. This is a positive thing today. What we're doing is something positive. So I always try and bring my sister's qualities forward in everything we do. And when we started the foundation, the whole idea was to turn the tragedy into something of hope, inspiration, and triumph by helping women and children live free of violence. And we're just so grateful to have met the North York Women's Shelter and just really find them, because they really help women regardless of age, sex, marital status, religion, and across all socioeconomic levels. They just really embrace everyone, regardless of where they come from. And, we started the foundation shortly after my sister passed away, and we miss her every day. We really do. But her inner beauty is the flame that keeps burning within us, that propels us forward to kind of keep doing good in her name. She was this kind, caring, and compassionate person, and those qualities are really exemplified here in the North York Women's Shelter. They take incredible care of the residents based on their individual traumas and their needs. And from our experience, they're equipped with a staff that really cares about everyone that walks through these doors. My sister was a go big or go home kind of person. She was this bold and daring individual. And the residents here share that same boldness in wanting a life on their own terms. The shelter here is their home and a place where they can rebuild and live lives that they may have never had before with their children. So we're just so proud and honored to have Anne-Marie's name entrenched with the community collective, because it's just this building that's going to transform how a community deals with women and children escaping violence. And it's truly a remarkable place. There's a healing center, there's therapy sessions, there is legal counseling available to women within the community, not just the residents. It's truly a one-of-a-kind place. So, as Mayor Tory said, my sister is looking down on us smiling, and she'd be very proud. But if you knew my sister, she'd be saying, we have more work to do. Especially today, with the stressors of the pandemic. They've magnified the need for women and children to leave their unsafe home. And the resources required to treat, support, and house these women have never been greater. So, although the community collective here will be named after Anne-Marie, our mission continues. And the need persists, so we're going to conjure up our inner strength and continue and follow in the example that Anne-Marie did, that Anne-Marie led, that Anne-Marie set for us in helping others. So, on behalf of my family, the foundation, and all our incredible, generous donors and supporters, we'd like to present the North York Women's Shelter with a check for $30,000. But make no mistake, this is not the end. We have more work to do, and we're not done yet. We're going to persevere until we reach our $1 million goal and continue to help women and children live free of violence.
So I've had the privilege to work with the D'Amico family for the last 2 years, and I just want to say it has been a privilege. As a fundraiser for 15 years, I have never worked with a family like yours. So now I would like to invite Michelle Robitaille, our board chair, to just tell you a little bit about the collective and what we've done over the last year during the pandemic and our future.
Hi, everybody. So on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Northbrook Women's Shelter, I would just really like to thank the D'Amico family for their partnership with us. We feel really honored and so proud that they've chosen our organization to work with to help them in commemorating Anne-Marie. In terms of what I want to share with you a little bit about, it's what this building has meant for us as an organization over the last year and what it will mean going forward. We opened our doors to this brand new building about 2 weeks before the pandemic started. And like many other organizations that were open to the public, our vision for the Anne-Marie D'Amico Community Collective had to shift pretty dramatically. The space has been integral in providing COVID-safe programming and resources for our residents throughout this pandemic. The space has been home to counseling sessions to support women through their trauma. It has been the site for our vaccination clinics. It has been used for children programming and has provided a necessary wellness space with our gym downstairs. It's also been home to our primary health clinic in partnership with the Black Creek Community Health Clinic, who has provided us with tremendous support during this time through vaccine education, by providing primary health care for our residents, by providing therapy support, and countless other services. Equally as important, the first floor of this building was home to our very own school throughout the last school year. Over 60% of our residents are children. The pandemic disrupted the daily routine of going to school. Education was quickly converted to online, and a lot of students had to adapt to a completely new mode of learning. We quickly assessed a need for on-site educational support, and through government and community funding, we were able to hire a full-time teacher for children and youth. Beyond the great benefit of reducing the risk of transmission, having a teacher on-site 5 days a week ensured that the children wouldn't risk falling behind in school. The teacher worked very closely with our counselors to support the children and youth in both academic and emotional development. And it also provided the children and youth with much needed routine and stability during a very tumultuous time, as well as an additional trusted figure of care and support within the shelter. As the city opens up, so does our vision for this space. We will continue to open up our primary health clinic to the community, specifically focused on survivors of violence. We have a bookable program space for the community, imagine book clubs or martial arts classes, or providing space for other community partners to come in. We're happy to say that we have our first booking scheduled for the upcoming weeks. We're also continuing to partner with values-aligned organizations that can come in and use our building as satellite spaces for their work. So think social workers, think legal aid, settlement workers, to name just but a few. The space is vital to this community. It's a very service-poor area, and we're really excited about the future, and we're so happy to be partnering with the D'Amico family as we continue in this work. Thank you.
So now we're going to unveil the sign. So Vanessa and I will do this because we were taught yesterday how to do this. And so I'm just going to ask some of my team. Esther, can you come up and grab this stuff and move it off?
Henry's doing this for sure. She said. Thanks, Henry. Take on really well. That was Anne-Marie, definitely.
You did a very good job covering it.
what we're gonna do now is actually just have the D'Amicos come up. We're gonna find a solution to take it down. We're just getting a ladder. So if you want to do the ribbon cutting now, we can do that.
In case you're wondering, that's my sister playing a joke on us. This is exactly what she would do. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
So now we're just going to get a ladder to try to take the rest of it down. But what I'm going to ask is if you'd like to tour, if you could just please see, where did Mel, is Mel still around? If you could just meet with Mel, we're going to do 5 at a time, just over the next half an hour, just to, to show you the community collective space if you'd like to tour. Yep. Yes.
I want to take pictures.
Someone support her back. You going for Nick?
That's the way you unveil.
Gotta get that last piece off. It drives me nuts.
There's one more piece on
Nick, one more piece, Nick. One more piece up there. Just get up, get back up there.
You okay? Yeah. Okay. Oh no, it's really taped down. Okay, wait, now I have to get some. Yeah, we're gonna have something. All right. Yeah, because there's more tape. He's gonna try again. Oh, you're gonna try this?
I'm gonna try.
Just be
Yeah.
Now you can go over and get a picture.
Yes.
Pull up. Rock, farm. Hello. Kids. Give me your picture. All right, over here, guys. Over here. Give me a couple shots. One more.
Take off the mask for 3
Got
seconds.
it.
Take off the mask for 3 seconds.
Yeah. Over here. One more. Got it.
Tony, Samira, Uncle Rocky.
Yeah, the board.
Samira.
I'll drop the shoulder.
Right here. Rock. Farm. Nice smiles. Here we go. One more. Got it. He never stops. Huh? He's doing something. Oh, yeah.